Hello guys, I welcome you to our topic parity generators and checkers. So to take us through the topic, we've got some objectives which will guide us. So by the end of this chapter, participants should be able to explain the term parity, explain the function of parity generators, explain odd and even parity, and explain how a 4-bit data transmission system with parity checking operates. So a parity bit is an extra bit added to a string of data bits in order to detect any error that might have crept into it while it was being stored, processed, or being transmitted in a digital system. So our data in the form of ones and zeros can be crept by some errors. So an error can be either where we have got a 1, that 1 is replaced by a 0. So we can add an extra bit to that string of data that will enable us to determine whether our data is still in its original form or it has now been distorted. So why do we need a parity bit? So when the data is transmitted, if I have said there might be some errors. So the simplest way of detecting errors is to add an extra bit, which is termed the parity bit, to the string of data. So that parity bit can be either an odd parity or even parity. So in the next slide, we are going to explain what is an even parity or an odd parity. So when we have got an even parity, the added bit will be in such a way such that the total number of ones is even. And when we have got an odd parity, the added bit will make sure that the total number of ones is in the string of data is even. So if we've got a data string 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 1, so if we are to add a parity bit, if it's an odd parity, if it's an even parity, in the data string we can see that we've got already we've got 2 ones, which is an even number. So if we are to add a parity bit, we are going to add a 0, which is our parity bit. Then if we are to add an odd parity bit, from that data string we can see we are having an even number of ones. So for them to be odd, we add a 1 as our parity bit. So for us to obtain a parity bit, we have got a circuit which is known as a parity generator. So a parity generator is a combination of circuit which is found at the transmitter side. That circuit is fed with the data strings that are to be transmitted. The data bits are the inputs to the parity generator. So depending on the type of the circuit, if it's an odd parity generator, it will generate an odd parity bit. If it's an even parity generator, it will generate an even parity bit, which is to be transmitted together with the string of data. So an even parity generator will make sure that in the data that we have, the number of ones, if we add the parity bit, the resultant number of ones will be even. So if we've got, say it's a 4-bit data string, if we've got 2 ones, so it will generate a 0 as our parity bit. If we've got 3 ones, it will generate another 1, which will be added to the data string, such that the total number of ones will be even. So there we have got a circuit that we've got at the input we've got 2 exclusive OR gates. A, B, C, D are the data bits, and the 2 exclusive OR gates feed to the exclusive OR gate number 3. So at the output where we have got P, that's where we obtain our parity bit. Suppose A is 1, B is 1, C is 0, and D is 0. It means in our data string we've got 2 ones. So the exclusive OR gate 1 will produce an output of 0. Exclusive OR gate number 2 will produce an output of 0. And exclusive OR gate number 3 will produce an output of 0 again. And suppose A is a 1, B is 0, C is a 0, and D is a 0. Exclusive OR gate 1 will produce a 1, and exclusive OR gate number 2 will produce a 0, and an exclusive OR gate number 3 will produce a 1. You can see in the data string we've got a single 1, and our parity bit is another 1. So it means the resultant data string will have 2 ones, which is an even number of ones. Then an odd parity generator now employs exclusive NOR gates. It makes sure that the total number of ones in the data string, that is the 4 data bits and the parity bit, will give you a total of odd number of ones. Then we now have the parity checker. So the parity checker will now check the transmitted data at the receiver end to check whether there is an error that have crept into the data. So we have got an even parity checker and odd parity checker. So the circuit for even parity checking and odd parity checking will be the same, but what differs is the state that indicates whether there is an error or not. So an even parity checker will produce an output of 1 when there is an error. If the output is 0, it indicates that there was no error in the data. You can generate a parity bit from the circuit from the previous slide and input the same input data to the parity checker, and as well as the parity bit, and you see whether your output will be either a 0 or a 1. So if at the output you get a 1, if it's a even parity checker, your data would have been having an error. If the output is 0, it means there is no error. So an odd parity checker will produce an output 0 when there is an error, and an output 1 when there is no error. So an odd parity checker does just the opposite of an even parity checker. I thank you.